Hello, I'm here with Clare Byam-Cook, who is an expert in the field of breastfeeding. You are a trained nurse, midwife, and author?
Yes.
DVD maker? You've got everything.
Yes.
So you're going to be telling us all about that in just a minute, but just tell me a little bit about your life and career in breastfeeding.
Right, well, I fell into breastfeeding by accident, I have to say. I used to be a midwife, and then when my own children were born, I decided I wanted to work more part-time. So I started teaching at private antenatal classes in Chiswick. And what I discovered was a large percentage of our mothers were having feeding problems. Not, I think, through bad teaching, because it's a universal problem. And so they'd ring me and say, I can't get the baby to latch on, or it hurts. So I started offering to go and visit. And then when I was seeing what they were doing, I was thinking, well, no wonder it's hurting.
Yeah.
And as I saw them and started changing things they were doing, I just got more and more experience.
Yeah.
And then my clients started saying that I teach the opposite to most people, I have to say. But what I was doing was working. So they then said, well, why don't you write a book? And eventually I wrote a book. And that was a success, and then I made a DVD, and here I am spending all my time helping mothers
and coming to things like the baby show and doing talks and helping mums in desperate need, because I mean breastfeeding is one of those things that you just assume you're going to be able to do, and then you put that baby on and go, oh wow, that's either painful or stressful. Oh my goodness. I mean, what's the most common problem you come up against from mums?
Well, I think common problems are they can't latch the baby on at all.
Yeah.
Or they can and it's agony.
Yeah.
So sore nipples, mastitis, very common problem. Engorged breasts when the milk first comes in.
Yeah.
And the final problem, which I find a real heartsink, is not having enough milk. Right. Because I think lots of mothers don't have enough milk, and it is nothing to do with whether they're eating a good diet or doing it right. Just like some people have good eyesight, others don't. So.
Now, I remember going to a baby group, and some of you out there may have gone to a similar one, and one of the mums said, is there any reason why a woman shouldn't be able to breastfeed? And our teacher categorically said no. And that scared the life out of a lot of us, and it puts a lot of pressure on mothers. Now, how do you feel about, is that true? Are there reasons?
It is simply not true, and I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Nearly all my clients have been to antenatal classes, not the one I teach no longer happens. So they come having been taught by other people. And they all tell me this, that their teacher says 99.9% of all mothers can breastfeed. Well, I don't know where their evidence is, because we know that not every woman can give birth naturally, which is why caesareans were invented. We know lots of women can't get pregnant, but nobody would suggest they're not doing it right.
Right.
And so this idea that breasts are the only part of your body that works perfectly is bizarre.
Yeah.
And if you talk to a farmer, he will tell you not all his cows are good milk producers.
Yeah.
Not all his lambs can breastfeed, which is why he has to bottle feed.
Right.
And I find exactly the same. But even if what I'm saying is not correct, all the statistics show that about 50% of mothers give up breastfeeding within 6 weeks.
Wow.
So either 50% of mothers genuinely can't do it, or 50% of mothers get such bad advice that they can't succeed.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, do you think there's not enough support to keep mums breastfeeding out there?
Well, I actually hate the word support.
Okay.
It's a rather odd to say that. I hate the word support. Yes, exactly. To me, breastfeeding problems are like having a leaking radiator.
Okay.
Either the plumber comes in and fixes it, or he's not a good plumber. So when I see clients, if they can't latch the baby on, for example, I watch what they're doing. I have a very different way of teaching how to do it, which I can explain later. And if they're not doing it right, I then show them how to do it my way.
Okay.
And if the baby latches on perfectly, which it nearly always does, I then teach them to do it my way, job done. But if they can't latch the baby on, I can't, and nor can anyone else.
Right, okay.
Then I should not be sitting there saying, keep trying.
Yeah.
I should be coming up with different strategies.
Finding alternatives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you find that generally it is mostly about how the mum is sitting, how they're holding, and how the baby is actually taking in the nipple?
Well, Modern advice, and this used to be the case when I was a midwife, modern advice is to line the baby up nose to nipple, wait for him to open his mouth wide, and then latch on of his own accord. But the reality is lots of babies don't open their mouths wide, and lots of mothers have huge breasts. So what I teach the mothers to do is to line the baby up mouth to nipple.
Right.
After all, if you're giving a bottle, you don't flick it against the baby's nose, you put it into the baby's mouth. So mouth to nipple, and then rather than expecting the baby to open his mouth wide, I teach the mother to make her breast small.
Okay.
So it's like trying to post a large parcel into a letterbox. You just squidge it and shove it in.
Right, okay.
So that's what I teach. And this is what I demonstrate on my DVD.
Okay. Which is called?
Breastfeeding Without Tears.
We like the sound of that. No tears would be lovely.
I chose that title because I cannot tell you how many mothers leave messages on my answer phone where they burst into tears and they can hardly even leave my name. So it's a very emotive thing. What I find interesting is on my DVD I demonstrate my method of how to latch the baby on. It gets 5-star reviews from all the mothers. They say it absolutely transformed breastfeeding, to help latch on, stop the pain and so on. The only bad reviews I get are from breastfeeding counsellors.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because they say I'm teaching the wrong thing. And I think, well, why don't you read the reviews?
Well, I've seen some of your reviews from Kate Winslet, Kate Beckinsale. Not that, a celebrity means everything for an endorsement, but it's nice, isn't it?
Yes. Well, that's lovely to get endorsements from them. But actually, the Amazon ones are real. I mean, they're real mothers.
No, I know what you mean.
They are people I've never even met.
And they've
just bought the DVD,
done it off their own bat,
and said, "Wow, this has transformed life."
Now, the age-old question: is breast really best?
Well, of
Is there a
course
simple
it
yes
is.
or no?
The short answer is yes.
Yeah.
The long answer is not if it's creating misery in the family, the baby can't get enough milk, it's agonising. So in an undeveloped country, breastfeeding is life-saving because we don't have sterile water and so on, and babies are exposed to all sorts of germs and so on. In Britain, breastfeeding is perfect if you can do it, and I would urge every mother to try. But if you can't do it, I can absolutely say your child will not be bottom of the class, seriously fat, get every single illness under
obese, heart disease, all the things that you get told. I mean, crikey, so many, our parents, so many of them were bottle fed, and most of them are doing all right, and they made us, and we're doing okay.
Exactly.
Well, Claire, thank you so much for talking to us. And where can people find your books and your DVDs?
My books are available in Waterstones, but most people nowadays buy it online. So online.
I'll be putting it up on the screen.
Thank you. And my DVD online, very all easily available.
Fantastic, thank you. I wish everybody was able to come up against your kind of advice and realise that pressure doesn't have to be so great on so many mums out there.
What I will say, my final word is, the new mother is not the expert.
Right.
The people she's consulting are the experts. And if the experts can't show her how to feed her baby calmly, happily, pain-free, and getting plenty of milk, then if the mother gives up breastfeeding, she is not the failure.
Good advice. Thank you very much for talking to us, and we'll see you on another Hey Mummy video very soon.